Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far, and it is that time of year again. The game is just a few days old and gentlemen's agreements are back on the menu. Apparently, a significant number of pro players want to get rid of the snipers for competitive play for the second year in a row. iLLeY certainly has a few words to say for them, and the Optic guys generally pretty displeased with the direction this may well be taking. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, hitting the like button is the best thing you can do to help this channel reach more people. Please consider subscribing as well if you have not already. This then, first of all, from iLLeY, a nasty clip with the sniper from a couple of days ago. But to be fair, the aim assist in this game is quite strong, but using these weapons is not exactly incredibly easy. And as you can see right here, there's a smoke comes out to counter it. We'll talk about this in a few minutes time. The fact that snipers in this game, really compared to Cold War, it's not necessarily night and day, but I really think they should deserve a place back this year. This is something I feared really. I talked about it maybe during the off-season sometime, that just because the pro players are now in the habit of not using snipers as of last year, they'll try and do the same thing again. But well, certainly people aren't happy about it. Firstly, there's some NVE Classico once rivals. Now, one just thought it was incredible, the fact that, of course, these organizations battled over many years, now, of course, under the same umbrella, so kind of crazy to think about really how this has gone. But, of course, what it does mean is that a spot is up for grabs, apparently owned by the NV Optic kind of merger. They've got 2 spots over there now. They bought it off NRG, and now they're trying to sell that on. They've obviously got to do that relatively soon before the season begins. It's now kind of mid-November, right? We're getting to the point where they're going to start announcing, right, when the seasons are going to start. We imagine, like, there's going to be, at least if it's like last year, there'll be some sort of kickoff event in January, and then the season might start beginning of February. Hopefully it's earlier. At least I would hope it's early, but at the same time, I'm also hoping there's 12 teams. So maybe, like, not push it back, but, like, maybe it's good where it is to give some time for these mergers and sales to go through if they can do. As the United say, anyone trying to form a merger, asking for a friend at Paris Legion vouch with their slot and hours, you know, literally everything else, we can have a serious team on our hands. So maybe United want to get involved, whether they have the capital to get involved right now and get this NV spot off, well, get this 12th spot off NV, formerly the NRG spot. I mean, that remains to be seen, but hopefully it'll be the case, because the United, legendary organization in history. This I thought was funny from FaZe as well. I mean, I just thought it was cracking a meme really right here. You can live with your own failure. The defeats that Dallas and Optic suffered the last couple of years. Where did that bring you, Optic Texas? Back to me. FaZe are getting ready to go once again for the new season, of course. Certainly the favourites going into it. A dominant squad they had last year. And, well, they're adding to it this time around. Welcome to Atlanta FaZe at Prestinni. We rumoured this for quite some time that this might be possible. They bring Prestinni in as their substitute. I think really this is a great pick. We talked yesterday about the fact that General probably going to be Optic Texas's substitute once again. Almost said Optic Dallas. I've almost done that a couple of times already. But anyway, I'll try and get better at it over time. But Prestinni coming in here makes a lot of sense, because General, we were kind of discussing, yes, he's a good assault rifle player, but at the end of the day, like, if one of the, you know, if any random of the 4 players happens to get ill or unwell or whatever happens to them, then, like, General isn't necessarily the perfect substitute for every role, whereas a guy like Prestinni can pretty much do everything. He can be a fast sub, he can be a flex, he's got experience with all of these guys, he can probably slot into that team if they need him. Of course, the FaZe squad, it's very unlikely they're going to make any sort of moves, but it's good for Prestinni, right, because he obviously had a difficult time getting a spot after the tragedy of the last couple of seasons, really, especially Seattle Surge last year wasn't exactly ideal. But I still think he can be a very serviceable player, and a substitute for FaZe honestly might fit his situation perfectly. If he does need to sub in for whatever reason, they obviously hope he doesn't, but you know, sometimes things come up. Prestinni's probably a perfect guy to fit into a team like that, given the chemistry, and I thought this is funny from Arcitys as well. Sick of losing to the kid, you look good in red at Prestinni, because between the 2 brothers, Arcitys, of course, is considered the better player, has the better accomplishments the last couple of years, but has always lost to Prestinni when they've played each other on LAN. So since the kind of the franchise era comes in, and Preston moves over to well, the Florida Mutineers, both times they've played, Prestinni got the better of him, so he's actually never beaten Prestinni on LAN, so we decided, okay, let's bring him to FaZe anyway, as TacticalRab Academy points out, as we leave the online era. So yeah, this guy can't stop me again when we go to a LAN situation. And well, this also from Tom Locke, thought the squad looked familiar, pretty much the exact same squad that won the World Championship in 2019 on Reunite, which but instead of Clayster, we got Cellium here now, and Prestinni's kind of on the bench, so very similar to this roster, and I mean, obviously a pretty legendary one. Won the season playoffs, then won the World Championships just after that. So yeah, kind of bringing the old gang back together in this sense. The love's unreal. Didn't expect it to be like this. Really happy for Prestinni, and well, seemingly to make this work and getting ready to go. And as they say right here, there's nothing stronger than family, right? So people, of course, they call a league a friendship league. Maybe it's a family ship league or whatever exactly you want to describe it as. But yeah, pretty good heartwarming stuff regardless. Let's dive into this then. So as FaZe can also say, to continue on the FaZe trend, king of the car, like yeah, there's obviously been some pretty nice clips coming out with the sniper rifle. Now some people would say in pubs it's not actually that good, but in competitive when you're holding an angle, like it's a bit of a question, right? I've been saving some of these these sniper clips the last couple of days, just because I knew we'd be talking about it eventually as to whether the sniper's actually going to be coming into play this year or not in competitive. Because of course in Modern Warfare it was in, and there was a lot of great moments with it in that game, and Cold War it was decided effectively it was too strong due to the aim assist, due to like other factors really in the game, but mainly just because I mean it was, well, it didn't move also, but also like there was no smokes. That was kind of the early excuse that was given, is that okay, the smokes are broken in the game, they don't give you aim assist, they're kind of inconsistent to look through, we can't use smokes, therefore let's also not use, well, we can't use snipers either because the smokes are a good counter to the snipers, and without smokes the snipers are too strong. That was at least the theory. But even when smokes actually kind of got fixed last year, there was still the discussion of okay, yeah, maybe we don't bring snipers back anyway, they're too good. This year, even with smokes in play, apparently there's some pro players that want to get it banned. Now the crazy thing about this is, and the kind of incredibly predictable thing about this is it's probably the pros on teams that don't necessarily have a great sniper rifle. It's not necessarily the case, but I wouldn't be surprised if generally a team that maybe doesn't have a player on their team that's particularly proficient, especially looking at Optic Dallas, right? They have iLLeY and they have Dashy. Of course, you'd imagine they're going to probably be in favor of keeping it in, and the other players maybe on teams that don't have a great sniper are not going to be in favor of doing the same thing, right? So that's kind of how these things go. But this is iLLeY's thoughts on the matter. Pros are trying to get the snipers GA'd already. He definitely has a few words to say on why he thinks that's an awful idea, and they should certainly stay in the game this year because the counters exist.
Are you GAing snipers? Yeah, bro. Like, straight, bro. All these pros trying to GA snipers, bro. Snipers aren't even OP, bro. Like, there's smokes. There's a way to counter it. The TTK, you miss your sniper. It's like, you know? Like, there's so many ways to counter it. But, like, I don't know why. Pros are just, like, some pros are just trying to GA saying it's too easy to use. Like, yeah, it's not hard to hit a shot. But, like, if the other team's good and they could play around it. Like, otherwise, we're just going to get one-dimensional SD again. I'm not down for, like, I mean, it's okay. Like, if it comes down to it, we'll adapt and be the best at that shit. But like, this is not like this is one-dimensional S&D. You know, like, not what we've been playing for the past years, except for Cold War. And like, the S&D is just boring and repetitive. You know, and whack.
So as Clay says in reply, who is trying to GA it at iLLeY? Am I not even in the chat anymore? And so apparently, like, Clayster isn't necessarily involved in the kind of GA chat, but apparently people are talking about this significantly behind the scenes right now to try and get the snipers out of the game. And the discussion certainly does continue. This, for example, from Zero, I stated I don't want them gone, but they are too easy to use right now with all the attachments you can have. Zero continues on to say, like, I don't think they're as OP as previous years. I just think aim assist on them is too good at the present time, which, you know, may well be true in the hands of a pro player, but, you know, if you're really dealing with it, you probably can find good ways to counter them. Like the fast time to kill it, as iLLeY was saying, I think he made a great point. The time to kill is so quick in this game. If you miss one bullet, you're out of there, right? You're straight up dead. Like there's no way you'll survive in. That means you can't easily get follow-up shots in. Like, I don't know, it's just the thing, right? Because the pro players maybe you're used to not using snipers from last year and having that very one-dimensional search and destroy, you could argue they also don't want to bring it back this time around. But hopefully they do come back. I'm sure as fans, we certainly want to watch it. It's going to be an entertaining year to watch, I think, because search and destroy is very entertaining. Lots of clutches going on already. Hardpoint is incredibly fast-paced, at least as it seems so far. And if we get snipers back as well, it's going to be a good viewing experience. The pros, though, some of them don't seem particularly keen to do so. So even Simp right here comes back. We know that Simp and the FaZe guys in general, like Simp was a disgusting sniper in Black Ops 4. Obviously, phenomenal as well in Modern Warfare when he pulled it out. But as he says here, competitive different than pubs. You got to remember that. Agreed. Without aim assist, it would be fire. But maybe Simp saying, yeah, I think maybe it is too strong at the present time, which are kind of a surprise, really. If you can imply here that FaZe are in favor of this GA, but I'm sure we'll find out more over the coming days which teams are kind of you know, want this to be gone, which teams want it to stay in. Hopefully it stays in. I don't know what the consensus is going to have to be, but whether it's like 8 out of 12 teams or whether they up the consensus numbers and say, okay, all 12 teams have to agree to this to get it gone, because yeah, just GAs in general are a frustrating thing to discuss. We've talked about them for a number of years at this point, but well, hopefully the snipers that stay in the game. That's all I can say on that one for now. We'll talk about it, I'm sure, as well in the coming days on potentially some other things, because I'm sure there's going to be plenty of GAs this year with the myriad attachments we have in the game right now. This is from Optic Texas. Everyone especially shot had a long day yesterday, and you know, just enjoying the life right here. The Scump says leaks in the reply. Apparently this is something that's going to stick, as Rambo says, going on an absolute rampage the last couple of days. So yeah, Shotzi certainly needing a breather from it all. But speaking about Optic, this is from Optic Hitch. The CDL before the CDL, we looked at this yesterday, 70,000 teams. This tournament is going on tonight, and the teams have been determined, and very entertaining teams at that. So effectively the idea was, you've got all these AR combos, all these SMG combos, spin the wheel, match them up and see what happens. And some of the teams that formed are just like, you can't make this stuff up. They honestly saw this, they must have seen this tweet from TacticalRab Academy saying, yeah, okay, watch this video how to rig spin the wheel so we can get Crim and Clay match up with Shotzzy and Scump. And maybe they did, right? I don't know, because that's what actually ends up happening here. The last spin, whoever it doesn't land on, teams with Scump and Shotzzy. Can't believe it happened. Methods and Paul, let's go elsewhere. Crim and Clay are going to team with Scump and Shotzzy for tonight's tournament, and there's $70,000 on the line. This is honestly remarkable. These are all of the teams. So Simp, aBeZy, Major, and Priestahh. Like, some of these squads are really interesting, right? Because this is pretty much the FaZe squad, right, from the Modern Warfare season. Kenny, Envoy, Cammy, and Insight is another team. Hydra, Neptune, iLLeY, and Dashi. So you can see, effectively, there's like a New York optic merger going on here, because Hydra, Neptune, iLLeY, and Dashi, SMG combo, AR combo, plus Shotzzy, Scump, Crimsix, and Clayster on the other side of that combo. So some very entertaining teams here. Huke, Asim, Tommy, and Damon Karma. Barlow, that's a cracking team already. Bance, CleanX, Rated, and Drazah. Attach, Standy / Gunless, TJ, Venom, Paul X, and Methods. That's actually kind of interesting, because this is pretty much going to be a roster very similar to the roster was meant to be the Washington team. So it will be exciting to see how this one goes down. Lots of entertaining teams here, especially this one, right? Shotzzy, Scump, Crimsix, and Clayster. Like, seeing Scump and Crimsix team up together again. Crim and Shotzzy as well, after the kind of the beef that they've had during the off-season. And Clayster with these guys as well. This is going to be a good time. Thought this is funny as well from Crimsix, and hopefully he gets well soon, but not sure what I'm allergic to. My nose, mouth, cheeks have been swelling up progressively the last couple of weeks. Had enough and went to the ER before I turned into a baboon. Checked Twitter and realised I'm playing with two baboons tomorrow in Scump and Shotzzy. Let's get this done. And Shotzzy, finds it pretty funny right here in the replies. But yeah, gonna be an entertaining one, no doubt. And well, just this from Visions really, like, thrown back to 11 years ago when Hastra and Hex were kind of having this interview with what was Deserto with a C.net at the time. That of course now Deserto.com. But I mean, yeah, kind of crazy to think about how history transpires in esports and how much of esports history is still yet to be written. But very much intrigued to your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hitting the like button tells the YouTube gods this is a good video. I just like you should see it as well. And I've grown the competitive core legendary community. Thank you for watching as always. Take care. And I will see you next time.